everyone and welcome to video tutorial 13. You should now know all about cell division and you should be able to pause the video and answer the starter question on cell division. So the answer is that cell division is needed for growth and repair, and that during cell division one parent cell becomes two identical daughter cells. If you struggle to get that answer, remember you can go back and watch the videos or parts of the videos that you're struggling with as many times as you want. Today we're going to be moving on to stem cells, which is still part of key area 1, producing new cells. If you want the worksheets that go with the video, remember to pause the video and go to Multicellular 2, producing new cells 1, consumables and activities 2, stem cells 1.2, and the PowerPoint can be found in PowerPoints and is called 1.2 stem cells. So today we're going to be learning about stem cells. Our learning intention is to learn to state what stem cells are, name what stem cells are used for, to give an example of the controversial use of stem cells, and to explain what stem cells are used for in the body and why they are important. To be successful, you will be able to explain the differences between the two types of stem cells, participate in a debate about stem cells, and correctly answer the questions on stem cells. So let's talk about stem cells. All of our cells in our body are developed from stem cells. Stem cells are the only unspecialized cell in an animal, so they are unique, and you need to note that stem cells are unspecialized cells. And these cells are special because they are the only cells in the body that can divide over and over and over again indefinitely, so they can divide as many times as they need to. Stem cells are needed in the body for growth and repair, and you would want to make sure that you have written a note on the fact that they're unspecialized, they can divide indefinitely, and that they are involved in growth and repair. Stem cells have the potential to differentiate into specialized cells. Some types of stem cells can differentiate into any type of cell in the body, so you would make a note of this if you were in class. Stem cells have two different roles. So the two roles of stem cells are that they can either self-renew, which is make copies of themselves. This is so that they don't run out and we have enough of them. Or they can differentiate into other types of cell and become specialized. So they might differentiate into a red blood cell or a nerve cell or so on. There are two different types of stem cells. There are tissue stem cells and there are embryonic stem cells. So let's look at the two different types of stem cell in more detail. Embryonic stem cells can be obtained from an embryo at a very early stage when it's a blastocyst. Embryonic stem cells are very special as they can differentiate into any specialized cell, so they can become anything. As the embryo grows and develops, its stem cells divide to produce cells that develop into different types of specialized cell, which is needed to make functioning tissues and organs. So we get our embryonic stem cells from the blastocyst. So once the sperm fertilizes the egg, then the cells divide, and then they divide again, and then they've got a ball of 8, and then when it gets to about 100 cells, that's where you get your embryonic stem cells from. Tissue stem cells are different. They can be found in the body throughout life. Some locations in the adult body, such as the lower layers of the skin and the small intestine, still contain populations of stem cells throughout life. Tissue stem cells can only differentiate into a limited number of specialized cells which are similar to the original cell, so they can't become anything like embryonic stem cells. So for example, bone marrow could differentiate into a blood cell, but it could not develop into a muscle cell. Most specialized cells lose their ability to divide, so if they die and there are no stem cells present to produce cells to replace them, then the part of the tissue or organ may be permanently lost. Here's a diagram of where you can find tissue stem cells in an adult. So you can get them in the surface of the eye, which is the cornea, the skin, the testicles, muscles, bone marrow, intestines, breast and brain. Now pause the video and watch this video, or go back to at the end, and this will tell you more about how stem cells work and how they differentiate. You should now be able to use your knowledge to fill in the blanks at the top and also the blanks in the table. So pause the video and see if you can fill in the blanks before I go over the answers with you. So the answer is that Stem cells are unspecialized cells that are involved in growth and repair. They have the potential to become different types of cells. So your type of stem cell for unspecialized that can become any cell would be your embryonic, and your type of stem cell that cannot become as many types of cell often used to treat cancer would be your tissue. So well done if you managed to get all that correct. If you didn't, you probably want to go back to the start of the video and watch it again. Now watch the video about stem cell research, so pause the video and watch the link, or go back to the link at the end of the video. Then watch this video about stem cell treatment. Stem cells are currently being used to treat leukemia, treat burns, and used in cornea repair. You need to know what stem cells are currently being used for. So try to use your knowledge from the previous links and videos to try to fill in the table. So pause the video and see if you can fill in the table before I go over the answers with you. So the answers to this are that bone marrow transplants, so stem cells from bone marrow, are used to treat leukemia. Stem cells from skin are used for skin grafts to treat burn victims, and stem cells from the cornea of the eye are used for cornea repair. So well done if you managed to fill in that table correctly, and remember that you need to learn this and take a note of it. Other uses of stem cells include that they can be used for testing and screening drugs, they can be used for treating diseases, and they can also be used for studying diseases. Also, you need to know what stem cells can be used for in the future, so this includes treating heart disease, Parkinson's disease, baldness, diabetes, and Alzheimer's. So watch the video about how stem cells are being used in these diseases. So using embryonic stem cells is an ethical and controversial topic, so can you pause the video and write down why you think this might be the case? So if stem cell technology is used to treat people with incurable diseases, e.g. cancer, or for replacement organs, why is it so controversial? So usually in class you would do an activity where you would read through different people's opinions and beliefs so that you can see why using embryo stem cells is such a controversial topic. And these can be found in stem cell consumables 4A to 4E, and you can read them there. So in summary, embryonic stem cells are a controversial topic. So a controversial topic is a topic that people will disagree and argue about. So people that are in agreement for the use of embryonic stem cells argue that they are more useful as they can develop into any type of cell, so they're more useful than tissue stem cells. They can be used to make cells you need, so they can be used to test drugs, understand disease, develop new medicines, and they can be used to save lives of people. The embryos used for stem cell research are from embryos that are no longer needed for IVF treatment for couples trying to have babies. So other people that are against embryonic stem cells and against using them argue that embryos could eventually become babies. So some people believe that scientists are destroying a human life when they use embryos for research, and that more research needs to be done before we understand the full implications of the procedure. So try to use your knowledge from the previous parts of this video to fill out the table. Pause the video and see if you can fill in the table before I tell you the answer. So the answer to this is that stem cell technology is used to treat or cure diseases or for replacement organs. And it's controversial because it uses cells from an embryonic stem cell. You should now be able to use your knowledge to answer the 4 questions. So where are stem cells found in the body? What disease is treated with stem cells at the moment? What disease conditions do scientists hope stem cells will enable them to treat? And why might people be against the use of stem cells for medical treatment while others be in favour of it? So pause the video and see if you can answer the questions before I go over the answers with you. So the answers are: so stem cells are found in many tissues and organs. So nerve cells in the brain, they're found in the liver, the heart, the bone marrow, the blood. So cancers such as leukemia are currently treated by stem cells, so they're treated by using bone marrow transplants. Alzheimer's, heart disease, baldness, Parkinson's disease all have potential to be treated by stem cells. And the use of embryonic stem cells is controversial, with many people having mixed feelings about it, as it may be able to cure currently incurable diseases or help people's quality of life, but it might also be at the expense of a potential life, so something that can develop into a baby. Now you can complete the activities below to review your learning by doing the key area past paper questions on stem cells, which are found in 4 past papers for key area, and by doing the multicellular exam practice questions on page 23, questions 1, 2b and 2c. We have now come to the end of the lesson, so you should now be able to state what stem cells are, so that they're unspecialized cells that are used in growth and repair. Name the 2 types of stem cells, which would be your embryonic and tissue stem cells. Name a current use for stem cells, so the treatment of leukemia by bone marrow transplant. Explain what and why stem cell therapy may be controversial, and give an example of a potential future use of stem cell. So why it is controversial is it's used in an embryo, and a potential future use of a stem cell might be in the treatment of Alzheimer's or Parkinson's disease. So well done if you managed to confidently do all of that. If you can't, then you need to go watch the video again. So that is the end of this video tutorial. Woohoo! Thank you for listening.